Alright, so this is the competitive team tier list for Friday the 13th, the game. This is every single team I could find that I know of that has existed in competitive Friday the 13th on both Xbox and PlayStation. We're going to be ranking the teams based on their prime. And if you don't know how tier lists work, S is the best, and then all the way down to F. And I have an I don't know category in case I don't know. But also, I'm going to be doing it like this. So the left, it goes from left to right, left being the best for each category. So in this example, this means that Dream Warriors are slightly better than Muck, since they're towards the left of Muck. So knowing that, let's get started. This is also live. I'm not really going to be editing this much, unless I have to stop and start again. But yeah, hopefully we can do this in one take. First up, we have Doomsday Squad. So Doomsday Squad, a lot of people don't know. They were Season 1 champs, the first ever league in Friday. They won it. Undefeated season. This team, I was on this team with Tox and Pro. This was my first team. This was Tox's first team. Really revolutionary, I'm not going to lie. Probably going to put them B tier for now, but everything's subject to change. We're going to kind of see as we go. So we'll go B tier for Doomsday Squad. Next we have Muck. Muck had a lot of potential, but they never really capitalized on it. They had some decent players. They had X and Abada who would pop off from time to time as Jason. They had some okay counselors, but they never really did much. They never made a finals appearance. They never got any chips. They were an okay regular season team. Probably put them C for now. Next is Dream Warriors. I put Dream Warriors and Stoners as separate teams since they're different teams. Dream Warriors, they weren't that good early on. I think they technically have a chip, but it was kind of weird. It was a new Dream Warriors team with J-Lives and stuff. It's kind of a different team. But Dream Warriors were an early Xbox team, and they were okay. They're kind of like Muck in a sense, where they had really good players, but they never did much with them, except the players from Dream Warriors ended up blossoming and joining Stoners and other teams and did great. But Dream Warriors themselves, they're probably a C tier team. I put them above Muck though. Next is Ravens Requiem, however you say it, Requiem. This team I think they only played one season for United, season 1, I'm pretty sure. And they were actually really cool. I'm pretty sure Tox was on this team. I think Shan might have been on this team. I think Pro might have been on this team. I think Amy, Saucy. This was an Xbox team. They were pretty damn good. I'd probably put them above Doomsday Squad. I don't think they're quite A tier because they might have won the chip that season. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember. But I know they were a threat for sure in United season 1. So probably low A or high B. Probably put them B for now. Next is Plebs. They're a sleeper team. I'm not going to lie. They're underrated. I think they're at least B tier. They never won a chip, and I don't think they made a finals appearance. They should have had a finals appearance, but they ended up getting knocked out in semis because of some stupid rule change or something. I don't remember the details, but they were a good team. They knocked out PR to make it to semifinals in the playoffs, I remember, which was huge. They had Wolf as their Jason. This team also had Han Solo and Shizzy. I think Malik was the captain. This was a really solid sleeper team for PlayStation. And yeah, I think B tier is pretty good for them. F13 Little Giants, I'm going to be honest, I recognize the name. I don't think I could tell you a single player that played for this team, I'm going to be honest. I recognize the name, I'm going to keep him in I don't know unless my memory remembers. But I'm going to put CCL here too. I don't know who the hell CCL is. But they obviously weren't very good. They were 13th place. So, I have no idea. Next is AAA RM or ARM. ARM was really good. I also put ARM and Real Man and AAA and TB. I put all those teams as separate teams. They all kind of bounced around and made different teams at different time periods. But ARM was really good. I think they have a chip, if not 2 chips. They're definitely one of the best PlayStation teams during their time. I think they're at least A, if not S, but I think I'm going to go A for now. I don't think they're quite S. If they are S, they're low S, but I think A is pretty good. Next is Pub Scrubs. Pub Scrubs were not that good. They were pub scrubs. They were always like towards the lower end of the rankings. Every league they played, they weren't really a threat, to be honest. And I think D tier is where they belong. Next is Cthulhu's. People would probably put Cthulhu's in F. This is an OG Xbox team, but I'm gonna put them in D tier, just for the fact that LeBron and Shizzy started on this team, and they blossomed into greats. So I'm gonna put them D tier, but they were pretty awful. They had one okay season. Season 1, they had an okay record, but yeah. Next is Piggy Smalls. Piggy Smalls are either top of A or they're low S. I think I'm going to put them S for now. They have 3 chips. They won 3 chips back to back to back, the three-peat in their prime. Piggy, I play for this team. Jay is on this team. Like a bunch of players. Epic, Han, Apex Trip. Like tons of GOATs play for Piggies. 3 chips back to back to back. There's not many teams that have done that, so I think they're S tier. Next up is Clit. Clit is like low C tier, to be honest, or high. I think they were low C tier. They had some decent players. They had DXR, I'm pretty sure. They had Rodney at one point. They were pretty okay teams. Pretty average PlayStation team, in my opinion. Next is Grandma's Kisses. Instant F tier. I love Grandma's Kisses. I love Spastic Moose. That's my boy, but this team was thrown. They were like trolling. Like they weren't even playing serious. They're probably the worst team of all time. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know how they were allowed in the league. They were literally throwing, but they go in F tier. Next is Family Matters. I'm pretty sure this is Did I Do That's team. They're not that good either, I don't think. I'm pretty sure this team is hard as hell to schedule with. Like they never like respond to shit. I think they're like D tier. I don't think they're that good. Next, y'all might not know this team. This is an OG Xbox team, the Hitters. This team is going to get an okay rating, probably C tier, just for the fact that Nano played for... Bro, y'all sleep. Y'all don't know about Nano Swarm, bro. Nano Swarm was like one of the top Jasons on Xbox way back, like 2018 days. Man was different. He was cold, and they had a decent record. They also had a finals appearance, I think, in Season 2, I'm pretty sure. And, yeah, they get like a C rating, I think. Probably put them above Clit just because they have a finals appearance. OFG, I think of OFG like in the same boat as Family Matters. Like they're not really a threat. I think this is Raven's team. I'll probably put them one spot above Family Matters. I don't think OFG is that good. They might actually be low C, but I'll put them D for now. Again, it's subject to change. We'll see. Next is TDK. I think TDK is F, to be honest. When I joined PlayStation, they were always like the bottom team in every league. And I think they ended up folding halfway through the season at one point. So, yeah, F tier, to be honest. Next up is CCK. Cucamonga Cracker Killers. If you don't know about this team, they're an Xbox team originally. They were undefeated in Season 1, but they ended up losing to Doomsday Squad in the championship. They're definitely a B tier. They're super revolutionary, like before their time. This team had like Goth, Johnny Produce, and a bunch of others. Bro, their Jason was cold too. Seto, y'all might not know Seto, right? He was like an OG, went head to head with Tox back in Season 1. He was pretty cold, but I think B tier right behind Doomsday Squad is where they belong, since Doomsday Squad did win that league. So, in terms of influence, CCK is like crazy. They're like revolutionary, but as far as like skill wise and everything, they're like mid B tier. Next is Lobos. This is pretty sure it's an exclusively EU team. They were a pain in the ass to schedule with, but they had some talent. They just, I don't know, they were like really decent runners when they weren't doing objectives like that. I think they belong in C tier, probably right behind Muck maybe. They were pretty decent. Next is Lakeside Lunatics. Y'all probably don't know this team, right? This was like season... I don't remember what season this was, but it was an Xbox team early on, and they started out the season like 7-0. Like they were undefeated #1 seed during one season. If this is the team I'm thinking of. They were either Pinehurst Psychos or Lakeside Lunatics. I forget. I'm not going to lie. But if this is the team I'm thinking of, they started out 7-0, and then they kind of did nothing after that. They kind of fell off. I'm going to give them C tier just for that they started a season undefeated. That has to amount to something, I guess. Next is Hell Crew, Xbox team. They kind of changed the game. They were kind of revolutionary. They were really the first team to kind of do what they did. They're at least A tier, borderline S, but I'm giving them A tier because the chips that they have were like not very competitive. They beat Jugs for a chip with like a trap bypass for one. They only have 2 chips, I'm pretty sure. So like they are like super influential in terms of the game, but they just weren't like super crazy to be S tier. But they were still like great. Don't get me wrong. They had Shizzy, they had LeBron, they had Cristobal, etc., etc. And yeah, they were like the first true objective team in Friday, in my opinion. Next is another hard hitter, Xbox. Bro, Xbox only have 1 chip, but they are probably the most consistent regular season team of all time. Their first season they played, they went 15-0. Bro, Xbox were cold. I'm not gonna lie. I think they gotta go S tier, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, no team, barely any teams have records like Xbox have. They only have 1 chip. They should have 2 chips. They would have beaten PR by 1 point, but they got a -2 for something that was really stupid. And we ended up losing by 1, so they should have 2 chips. They got robbed, but this team has a superstar lineup too. This team, I was on this team with Jay, Han, Chris, Bomber, Reach, Seraphic, Gucci, etc., etc. A bunch of crazy names on this team. I think they belong S tier. As far as if Piggies or Xbox are better, it's really hard to say because Piggies have more chips, but Xbox were just so influential. Like, bro, if you were around for Xbox, like, bro, like grinding, Screaming Jason, straight Owens all night long. Like, Xbox were so cold. It's hard to say who's better. I think for now, I'm going to put Piggies just because they have more chips and they got a 3-peat. Next is Outsiders. F13 Outsiders are kind of in the same boat as Plebs. They're really solid PlayStation team. They have some sleepers, decent Jasons with Grumpy and Jed, but they never really did much. They were just good teams. They had good playoff appearances, but they never made it to a finals, I don't think. Actually, they did make it to a finals. They made it to 1 finals against and lost. So I think for that, I'll put them 1 spot above Plebs. But Plebs and Outsiders are both really solid. They're kind of interchangeable. They're really similar in my opinion, too. Next is Raiders of the Lost Bots, dude. Hard hitter. Instant S tier. Probably the best team of all time. I think they have 5 or 6 chips. Most talented roster by far. Like, this team is crazy. I'm not going to lie. In their prime, bro, take the best PR players and the best Xbox players and just put them on a team and just, bro, it's insane, honestly. Again, they have at least 5 chips, if not 6. They might have 6, I'm not going to lie. I think they have the most chips in Friday history. I think. In terms of league. Top S tier for sure. Next is Uprise. I'm pretty sure this team's F tier. I think this is the team that folded like mid-season and they like Neville? Okay. They like never scheduled. They were a pain in the ass, and I don't think they were very good whenever they did play. Real Men is next. I think Real Men is D tier. I mean, they really never did much. They were just no, I'm playing. I'm going to give Real Men S tier. Dude, can my shit work? There we go. Okay, I'm going to give Real Men S tier. Strictly on influence alone and talent. Like, bro, Real Men were before their time. They had all the greats over on PlayStation back in the day. And yeah, there's not really much to say. They were just the best team. I don't think they had that much competition. But then again, neither did Raiders. Just because they were that good. But again, Real Men, just their influence they had on PlayStation was just crazy. I think they belong S. I don't think they're better than Xbox. I think Xbox just with their... I think Xbox are better strictly because they had way more competition. And Xbox were also super influential. Real Men have 2 chips, if I'm not mistaken. And honestly, you could say that they're like up here, but personally, yeah, they fucking suck. We'll put them there. Next, we have Kings of Blair's Cove. I think I have a better logo for them. There it is. We have Kings of Blair's Cove. Y'all probably don't know who this is. This is another OG Xbox team, Season 1, Season 2. They also played in United with Shan. Shan ended up joining this team. And they were okay. Probably put them bottom of C tier. They never really did too much. I think they actually made a playoff appearance in United. Probably put them right above Clit. But nothing too crazy. Shout out to freaking Senseless. And shout out to Big Shooter. They were OGs that played for the Kings back in the day. Next is Dream Killers, dude. Another hot take. I actually think Dream Killers are a pretty damn good team. I'm not gonna lie. They're probably the longest existing team in history. They played for ages with many different roster changes. Um, in their prime, I think they're pretty good. I don't think I can put them above Hell Crew just because Hell Crew is so influential and Hell Crew has 2 chips. I don't know if Dream Killers have any chips. They have so many finals appearances. They gotta have at least 1 chip, I think. I think they have 1 chip. But they might have 0, if I'm being honest. Let me know. I honestly don't know. So let me know. But I think they're A tier. They're always a good team in PlayStation for sure. God, I have hiccups. Next is AGF. I looked at the captains of this team and I was like, ugh, like this team looks kind of trash. But then I saw Apex Predator on the roster and I was like, yeah, this team's gotta be okay just for that. I honestly don't know much about him, but I'm gonna give him C tier. I don't really know much. Next is Iron Wolves. I'm a big Iron Wolves fan. This was Seraphic King's team on Xbox. They made back-to-back finals appearances. I think they definitely belong A. I don't think I can put them above Dream Killers just because Dream Killers have so many like finals appearances and so much longevity. But big respect to Seraphic for bringing that team from the ground up. Like, bro, Iron Wolves just popped out of nowhere and they were cold. Like, they were definitely a threat back then. What the hell? Okay, there we go. Who's next? How? Who the hell is How? That name's familiar, but I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. Next is Jugs, PlayStation team. My bad. They're an Xbox team. Jugs are an Xbox team. If you ever heard of Mad Dog's Den, this is Mad Dog's team. They're similar to Dream Warriors. Like, they had talent, kind of, not really, but they're just like an average team. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know. They were kind of average. I'm gonna put them C tier, right below Dream Warriors, I think. Next is Rebellion, another Xbox team. This team is underrated in my eyes, I think they're a little bit better than Jugs. Maybe a little bit better than Dream. I might even put them B tier, to be honest. Rebellion, when they came out, they had like a pretty decent regular season record. I think their Jason was X in a bottle. They had GX, GQ. They had some sleepers. Like, they were actually a pretty damn decent team. They used to remind me of Outsiders, kind of in a way, how they were like a sleeper team. And yeah, I think B tier is a good spot for them. Oops, what did I do? Where were Kings? Kings were like right here, right? Yeah, okay. Next is Legend Killers. Legend Killers was my first team when I came to PlayStation. This team had Nikki, Rodney, CM, a bunch of others. Wiz was also on this team at the end of his career. He played Jason. We used to trade Jason reps. This team didn't really do much. I think they made playoffs. They never really made a finals appearance or anything that I know of. I would say they're better than Muck. Probably put them above Muck at C tier, to be honest. Next is TB, Toxic Bastards. Bro, this team has one of like the craziest rosters in history when you look at it. I don't really think they did too much, but just off of roster alone, like sheer talent, they had like Ryan, Lito, I'm pretty sure, Apex, like a bunch of like the PlayStation runners. Like, this is one of the craziest PlayStation rosters of all time. I gotta give them A tier. I'll probably put them above Iron Wolves just because Iron Wolves weren't that developed and they only played 2 seasons. Toxic Bastards roster is just crazy. I gotta give them their respect. Gotta give them A tier. Next is Triple H. This roster is like plebs and bomb combined, kind of, but I think they folded. I don't know if looking at the roster, I would assume this team is like A tier or B tier, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember seeing this team play. I think they're like, I'm just gonna put them, I don't know, but they, based on the roster, I think they're like B or low A, but honestly, I don't know because I think they folded. Next is Hellhounds, Xbox team. They're not really good, if I'm being honest. D tier, in my opinion. Next is Misfits. Dude, I love my Misfits, dude. Misfits had a finals appearance. They were a pretty solid Xbox team. I'd probably put them either right next to Rebellion. I don't know if they're better or worse. Probably better. I was the Jason for this team. We always had a good record like every season, but I don't think we won a chip. I think we should have won a chip, but it was like some like disqualification or something that ended us, like we didn't end up getting it for some reason. but we had a finals and we should have won the chip, I remember. But yeah, ooh, maybe I should put us. I think B tier is good. I'm gonna be honest. Misfits were revolutionary too. They're a sleeper. Next is CKD. CKD just recently made a finals appearance. This team was originally Gotham's team, I'm pretty sure, and it was like a reincarnation of CCK. But I don't think CKD has a chip. I think they belong in B tier, probably right above Outsiders. I think that's pretty good. I would put them above CCK, but CCK's influence is just crazy. In undefeated season back in the day, I gotta keep CCK above CKD, I think. Next is Hose. Bro, I'm a Hose fan. I think Hose are a sleeper team. I think they belong in B tier, probably above Rebellion, I would say. They're a PlayStation team. I'm pretty sure this is where Boo and Flex started, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is La La Land's team originally. And his team was underrated. I'm going to be honest. I think when Flex was playing Jason, this is when he first started, like, popping off. And, yeah, I'm a Hose fan, I'm going to be honest. I think Hose are pretty cool. Next is Bomb. I don't think Bomb is that good. I'm going to be honest. I think they're, like, C tier. Probably put them, like, right below Muck, I think. Next is Fairview Monstars, dude. If you haven't heard of the Monstars, bro, then you live under a rock. Monstars, best Xbox team of all time. It's not even arguable. I think they're the best. I think they have 5 chips on Xbox. And Enter2Now and United. They also played against Comp. They had one of the most hyped up finals. It was Monstars versus Hell Crew, and they just went in and smoked Hell Crew. Like, this team had a crazy roster with Jay Lyle, Shan, Doritos. They also ended up picking up Cristobal down the line. They had players like Red Room, Epic, Apex, like Han. Crazy roster with this team, bro. Honestly, people like to. I mean, you can even argue that they're number 1 all time. I'm gonna be honest, but I think they're number 2 all time, probably. Pamela's Revenge. This team is in the same boat as Cthulhu's. They were not a good team. Early Xbox team. Their claim to fame is that all Doritos and Cristobal played for this team. This was Doritos and Chris's first team, and they sucked, and this team sucked, but they ended up birthing 2 greats, so I can't put them F, I gotta at least put them D just for that. Army of Darkness, name is so familiar, but I honestly don't know. I think this team folded, like in the Xbox. I'm pretty sure it was an Xbox team. Next, Hellbillies. I love my Hellbillies, dude. I think Hellbillies belong in A tier. Bomber is the captain of this team. Reesh was on this team. I joined this team later on. In this team's prime, this team has 1 chip. They almost have 2 chips. They have, I think, 2 or 3 finals appearances. Bro, Hellbillies are cold. Like, honestly, like, they have so much talent. They've picked up young talent with, like, Jacob and Axe and them. And honestly, such a cold team. I honestly think in their prime, they also picked up Jay Lyles and Gucci and Apex. I think they're better than Hell Crew, I'm going to be honest, in their prime. I think prime Hellbillies versus prime Hell Crew, I think Hellbillies are better, honestly. Only thing is Hell Crew is so influential. You could argue that Hell Crew's better. It's honestly a toss-up. It's like a 50-50. Maybe it's biased because I love Hellbillies. I think Hellbillies, in their prime, at their best, are better than Hell Crew, personally. Honey Badgers are up next. Honey Badgers were Seraphic King's first team. This team also had players like TK High Octane, Striker Shadow, etc. This team was another early Xbox team. They had a lot of playoff appearances. I think they had 1 finals appearance. I remember when Misfits beat them, there's like a bunch of drama. I think they're a B tier team, like Lopes. I'm not meaning to move Misfits. Or Misfits, like right there, I think. I think Honey Badgers are like low B. Yeah, I don't know if they're better or worse than Rebellion. I think they're better than Rebellion, probably. Next is Triple B, Body Blocking Bitches. This was like and I don't think this team lasted that long. I think they played in the STN League. That's like the only time I remember them. I think this was Hale and Nerd's team, if I'm not mistaken, before And honestly, they never really did much, I don't think. I think they're like C. I could be mistaken, but put them like C tier. Put them like top of C tier. D13 is next. Pretty sure this was Gucci's first team. LeBron played for this team. There were a lot of sleeper players that played for D13. I think they're probably B tier. I think they're right next to Misfits. It's an argument if they're better or worse than Misfits. Honestly, hard to say. I'd probably say they're better. Probably, I think they had a better roster all around, and yeah, I think B tier is a good spot for them. Next is Blood Empire, Xbox team. This team is trash. I'm gonna be honest. They're like second worst team of all time. Next is Stoners. This is an Xbox and a PlayStation team. This was what Dream Warriors evolved into. They became Stoners over time. This team, I'm a Stoners fan as well, bro. I love my Stoners. They're at least A tier. I'd put them above Iron Wolves. I think they have a more established roster in their prime. I'd probably put them above TB as well. And they might even be above DK. I don't think they're above Hellcrew or Hellbillies, but I think it's a 50-50 between DK and Stoners. I think Stoners has more talent, but I think DK might have more finals appearances. However, I think Stoners have a chip, if I'm not mistaken. I think they won a league. I think I'm going to put Stoners above DK, but they're both A tier. Again, this is a toss-up. You can pick your poison, honestly. Next is Panty Raiders, dude. Love my Panty Raiders. Panty Raiders are an instant S tier. They have to be. It's just, where do they go in the S tier, to be honest? Some people think they're the best team of all time. I don't think they're the best team of all time, personally. But they have crazy influence. They have some of the craziest chips. One of the most entertaining teams, too. Some of the most talent, best runners. In their prime, I say it's a 50-50 between Xbox and PR. Because they had, again, PR versus Xbox, I think is the best final series of all time. If you haven't seen it, you got to go watch it. I think it's on J Lyle's YouTube. I think it might be on Baden's YouTube too. But honestly, best series of all time. PR ended up winning by 1 point due to a penalty. And PR also has one more chip than Xbox. But Xbox, I think, are more consistent overall. So this is honestly a toss-up. I personally think Xbox are better, probably because of bias. But during that series, I think a lot of people would admit Xbox were the better team. But Panty Raiders just got the best of them, I guess, with that penalty. It's kind of painful. Now, are PR and Xbox better than Piggies of all time? It's hard to say, since Piggies are kind of a newer, like they've started doing good recently. They have 3 chips in a row. PR has 2 chips. Piggies are also really good in the regular season. I could put Piggies, honestly, down here, because their influence isn't that huge. A lot of people don't know about them over on PlayStation. They're more of an Xbox thing. And I think Piggies deserve more respect, to be honest, but I might even put Piggies down here, just because Real Man influence is kind of crazy. And Xbox and PR just have way more influence. I think these 3 teams have more influence than Piggies, even though Piggies have more chips than PR and Xbox. But I think I like how this is looking right now. I think I'll leave it like that for now. I think I already did Rebellion. Yeah, I have a couple duplicates. I did Rebellion. I did Honey Badgers. Next we'll do BLC, dude. BLC had 1 goal. It was me, Bomber, and Jay Lyles. We made a post and we decided, let's get Crystal Lake Camp a chip. Crystal Lake Camp was the league originator over on Xbox, and he brought it over to PlayStation 2. And we just wanted to give back to the guy who started it all. We wanted to join his team and get him a chip. So me, Jay, and Bomber joined BLC, and we also brought some people with us that wanted to join, like Chris, Shan, etc. And we ended up going undefeated, and I'm going to put BLC in S tier. The fact that we ran the finals against Doritos, and we put Crystal Lake Camp in the finals lineup. Crystal Lake Camp as Tommy Jarvis kills Doritos, bro. Best moment in Friday history, arguably. Top 5 moment in history. I think they're S tier just for that. Even though they weren't a super long existing team, just going undefeated and destroying a lot of the top Jasons and winning the chip with Crystal Lake Camp is just such a great moment. And not many teams have undefeated seasons. So I think BLC belongs in S tier. I don't think I can put them above Piggies or Real Man just because BLC didn't exist that long. And I think Real Man and Piggies probably had better rosters overall. Even though BLC roster was crazy, but I think they belong in S tier. Next we got dude. I love dude. Was some of the best. Yo, was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Is an underdog. In their prime, I joined with Jay Lyles and Chris, and my very first game we played Lido Fresh after Jay Lyles got STN'd on by like 3 people on Pinehurst or something, and we needed to clap Lido to win the game, and we 1 out of 7 and killed Lido on Pinehurst to win the game. And since that game, we never lost, and we just owned like 8 or 9 Jasons in a row that were all like league, like sweaty ass Jasons. Like I remember we played Wolf, we played Wiz, I think we played like Guru, we played a bunch of top Jasons, and we just went undefeated after that day, and we won the chip against Tox, I'm pretty sure. And honestly, such a great story. I love has such a great roster. I think they're A tier. As far as where they are on A tier, it's really hard. I think they're better than DK, because DK has not gone 10 games in a row straight Owens like has. Prime was a problem. If you were around back then, you know. Great roster. We had Nerd as a captain. We had Heo as a captain. We had Justin as a captain. I might even put above Stoners. I might even put above Hell Crew, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Was different. I think I'm gonna put between Stoners and Hell Crew, just because that Hell Crew influence is crazy. Has 3 finals appearances all time, and they have 1 chip. And Hell Crew has 3 finals appearances and 2 chips. So I think can go right there. I think that's a good spot for Next is Washed Up. I know you like my Washed Up logo. I couldn't find a logo for them, so I just had to make this. I think Washed Up is S tier. I think they're the only team to ever... Dude, I have a lisp or something, dude. I can't speak. To ever rival Raiders. But... yeah, they have 1 or 2 chips, but their chips were kind of... They felt like they were, like, lucky, to be honest. Like, it's hard to explain. I don't know. Washed Up is a weird team. They're, like, ARM, but... ARM... This team is kind of like Raiders plus ARM, kind of. And I think they're S tier. As far as where they are on S tier, I'd probably put them at the bottom of S. I think Creatures... you could argue that they're better than BLC. I'm going to put them at the bottom of S, personally. We have a few duplicates. I think Hellstars are next. Hellstars were an Xbox team. They played for United Season 3 or Season 4, I forget. And this was Han Sellout's team after Monstars folded. And they were good, but they made playoffs, but they didn't make finals. I think they're like probably right behind Ravens all time. Probably upper B tier. I think that's a good spot for them. Next is Infinity Stones. This is like a newer team. They just recently won the chip. Oops. This team has a lot of talent. They're at least A tier. I don't think they had enough competition to be S, but I think they're like upper A. Should probably put them right behind ARM. Next is Certified Lever Boys. This was LeBron's team. I think Rish and Gucci played for this team. They had a finals appearance, and they lost to Piggies. They were actually really good, underrated, I think. Oops, I grabbed Iron Wolves on accident. We were Iron Wolves, I forget. I think Iron Wolves are like right here, right? Something like that. But I think COB is top B, probably above Ravens. Maybe behind Ravens. I don't know. I'm going to put them above because I think they were more talented overall and more established, but I think that's the list. Yeah, so this is my final tier list, I guess. Really quick, let's look through and see if I want to change anything. This list looks pretty solid. If I left any teams out, let me know. And yeah, I'll also leave a link in the description if you want to make your own tier list. That way you can use this template I made. If you disagree, let me know. I'm down to have a debate in the comments. And you guys should make your own videos using this template too. I want to see what you guys have to say about these teams.